What?
I know you too well.
Good evening, Jay. Thank you so much for joining me. We are expecting a multinational, multicultural pod dodger to join us in a moment or two or three, I believe. Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday night, which feels a bit weird. I'm not going to lie. Doesn't it feel a bit like late in the week? Yeah. Like usually we're doing this and we're not even at hump day yet, whereas like tomorrow's Friday, fucking get in.
That's it. We're normally doing it before we know any team news or anything like that, but we just wing it, don't we? Off we go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, absolutely loads to get through. So without further ado, we will run a bit of an intro and then we'll get into some.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds eating bastard.
Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
It's a utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
Yeah, well then, we are, as I said before, we are hoping to have our pod dodging friend along. He looks a little bit like Massimo Cellino. He looks a little bit like Gail Platt. Who else have we got? We've got
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, we've got lots of lookalikes. But then again, we've got a couple for you, haven't we, Jay?
Well, apparently so. Yeah, apparently so. I just gave my beard off because of one of them.
Yeah, so let's be honest. Let's just get this out there because on tonight's bio for the show, I've put in there that I'm on with self-professed or self-confessed lookalike for. Why don't you tell everybody those who weren't with Just Joe the other night? Who do you look like, Jay?
Listen, I'm going to explain this first because you've put self-professed or proclaimed or whatever. I didn't say it. Someone else bloody said it. And I wish I'd never told anybody now. But I got told a couple of times I look a bit like Chris Pratt. Certain situations, certain air,
I would have gone more, if I was going to go for anybody off of that particular movie that I really like, the Guardians of the Galaxy, I would have gone more for Rocket when you had the grey black beard, stripy.
Fucking hell.
Carl, can we hear you? Are you with us?
Hello.
Hey!
Fucking hell!
Danny's already started looking comments.
Yes,
Danny, do me over
like
again, isn't it?
Yes, we want it, Danny.
If you want to send it through to the pod Twitter, and I'll get the pic on there. Gentlemen, how are we? Carl, I've already said it's Thursday. Feels a little bit weird, but how are you doing?
Doing all right, man. Yeah, I have tomorrow off, so all good.
So today's
off
your
work.
Friday, then?
Today is my Friday. Yeah, boy.
Nice.
Is that why you're eating a dick earlier? That thing that you sent us in group chat.
I think that was Luke in the bath. I was sending a portion of ribs, lads. All right.
It looked a bit suspect when it first came up, mate. I'm not going to lie.
2 portions of ribs, man.
We didn't need that thing.
Is that what it posted?
Was? Yeah.
What was the thing on the side? Coleslaw.
Yeah. I was going to have potato salad, but
did you go for a crunchy slaw?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah,
good man. I don't like coleslaw, but if I was going to eat it, it'd be crunchy.
No, that's crunchy and mayonnaisey, like so. Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Right. The first things first. Neither of you were on B&C. I think it was Gilly and Smarty who did B&C after the game the other night. Plymouth.
Did they go on with them?
No, sorry, not after Plymouth. That was after
Bristol.
The weekend. After Bristol. I do apologise.
So first things,
you may well have done.
My memory's that bad. I don't know. I think I did.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about that cup tie that happened. Seems like it happened ages ago, but it was actually on Tuesday night, wasn't it, when we played? So, not last night, the night before. Made hard work of it, didn't we, Jay?
Oh God, yeah.
Considering, I mean, the result doesn't necessarily reflect the game. Or maybe it does reflect the game, but we still made hard work of it. I think we should have been done in normal time. What were your thoughts?
I can't argue with that, to be honest with you. I mean, it were a weird one, wasn't it? Because we seemed to labour through half of that game, and we do that so much. Like we score a goal, and we're on top for all intents and purposes, even if not playing great. But somehow we always seem to be susceptible to a shit goal being scored against us in these cup ties, especially. And yeah, it's just once that happens, then it's like the wind goes out of our sails, and we start labouring trying to win the game and struggling with it. And it's probably a sign of the difference in quality that we came to life so late in the game, because I mean we did make subs late, to be fair, and they had a massive influence on it, but like the Plymouth players were dead by that point, and we just sort of took advantage of that at that point, I think. But if you'd taken that extra time, and replaced the last half hour of normal time with that, it would have been a great game. Do you know what I mean? We'd have all been like, "Oh, that were fantastic," but because we had to put ourselves through it the hard way because we're Leeds, it doesn't feel quite as. There's not as much sparkle on that result.
No, I completely agree. Sorry, mate. Just saw the dog out. Yeah, Carl. So as Jay said there, like the half an hour extra we had to play, obviously going down to Plymouth for a replay. There's some tired legs out there, but I would say arguably more tired in Plymouth legs. I thought we looked quite fit.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. To be fair, I thought out of the two teams that didn't want extra time, I thought it would be more Plymouth that would have not definitely looked forward to extra time. When, like you were saying there, Jay, like the subs might have been late, but they were tactical enough in the sense that Fark could see that we weren't going to get another goal, and there was extra time coming. Like, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, their fitness was absolutely shocking for 120 minutes of a game, and I think when you look at how we played when the lads came on, I don't think there was a bit more lethal aspect to our game when they came on. But that's not to take away from the lads that put in a shift for near on 90 minutes. I think we done all right in 90 minutes, but
there wasn't anyone that weren't making an effort, was it? It's just we didn't play well.
Yeah,
all those tackles Gruev were doing.
I was just, you literally just interrupted me and took the words right out of my mouth. So that's absolutely fine. You may as well finish there, Jay.
My little segment for later, because I was going to do a Gruev appreciation.
We can still do that, mate. He deserves it.
Yeah, I think the class showed in the end, didn't it? And fitness. I think we looked a lot fitter than them, albeit we didn't really need that travelling. We didn't need an extra time, and we didn't really want to be bringing Bamford, Rutter, Somerville, etc. on to see that game out. But look, we're in the hat for the next round, so it was all a bit meh for me. I couldn't really be bothered. Obviously, I wanted us to win, but I wouldn't have been bothered had we not gone into the next round of the cup. And it almost sounds defeatist saying that out loud, but when you've got bigger fish to fry and we've got a promotion battle on his hands, then you've got to choose those battles wisely. Do we want to be going down for another away day before the end of the month at Chelsea? Realistically, no. But we've got it, so let's enjoy it. And who knows?
You'll be there though, won't you?
I probably will be there, but it's a Wednesday night, so we'll see. Couple of things then. I want to talk a bit about Plymouth, actually, because I thought Plymouth looked all right for a team of where they are in the league. You know, they're not doing great. They're not doing too badly. I think they're just lower than, and I know the league, we're talking cup games here, but we are, we're obviously a far superior side in all contexts to Plymouth Argyle. But I thought they had some decent chances. So, you know, we rode our luck at times. And yeah, I mean, was there anybody for them who stands out for you, Carl?
I know we're probably going to talk more about him in later in the pod, but I thought Gruev.
For them, sorry.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that lad that they've signed the start of this season, he's going to go and play Premier League football next season.
Was that Whittaker?
Whittaker, that's the one. Yeah, I've seen him 3 times now, and each time, like I'd love him in our squad. I'm not sure who he'd start ahead of at the moment, but he's that type of player. He's very direct. He knows what he wants to do when he gets on the ball. He's quite composed as well for a lad that's not got much kind of top league experience. I think he'd gladly he'd easily fit into any of the bottom half teams, I think, in the Premier League at the moment.
Do you reckon?
I think so, yeah. Like as a squad player, but he'd be very, very useful to bring on with maybe 15, 20 minutes to go. And I think if he does go up next season, I think that's going to be his role for a little while, depending on the team.
Own?
I think he would, yeah. It's very rare you see a player that you kind of admire in the Championship and kind of say, yeah, I'd have him.
He does look almost too good to be playing in that team, doesn't he? He's like almost their only outball sort of thing. But I thought they worked well as a unit. And to be fair, Mark Wright said they rejected. I think it was a $7.5 million bid. I think what Plymouth said was it'd take at least 20 million for us to have as a conversation. I think Lazio put us a much lower bid in than that. I think it was 7.5 off the top of my head. I can't remember. Anybody else? Anything else to say about actually not the performance at Plymouth, but actually Plymouth as a side? Obviously, we play them again down there in a couple of weeks. I expect we probably won't make as many changes from a preferred 11, but yeah, do you think there's anything to worry about going back down there later in the month?
I don't think there's anything to worry about. No, I reckon we've got the measure of them. We've shown to both them and us that we're a superior side. We just have to make sure we don't go there thinking that and that it's going to be an easy game or anything like that, because that's when you come unstuck in it. But I don't think there's anything for us particularly to worry about. That Whitaker, as you say, he's just passing through there, and Robert's the other one that are half decent for him.
Not sure.
Not
sure. I only noticed him.
They do have some good players, and they have a good record at home. I think fairly good, off the top of my head. But yeah, I think we just have to go and do our jobs. That's going to be the same with every game we've got now, and they're no different. That it's Championship, and they're a side who I think have still got aspirations of making the playoffs this season. So they're not far off, are they? So yeah, just go and do what we do, and try not to fucking struggle to kill the game off for a change if we get a chance.
So, I don't think that's going to be the case when we go down this time. I think we kind of have them a bit rattled now. We've beaten them. That's a bar. It was a lackluster performance against them at home. It wasn't the best performance. I thought with who started on Tuesday night there, I thought that was a better performance than the home one, considering the changes we made in both games. But I think they're rattled now. I don't think they're going to. They're going to be fearful of us catching them on the break, regardless if they're at home or not. Like
I think the only thing that worries me about that fixture later on in the month, based on last night, is look, they took us to extra time, albeit we played a weakened squad. They played a relatively weakened squad because they brought a few loanees and they had a few cup tied players that weren't available as well. Yeah. So they're gonna have a different squad available to them potentially. It also comes towards the end of a very, very busy month for us, on not just in general, because I know every team plays the same amount of games, but I mean on the road. We've got Bristol away, we've already played. Swansea. We've got Swansea away. We got Chelsea now in the cup. We got and then we got these away. It is a very, very busy month in terms of travelling and distances.
I throw a question at you, Luke.
Go ahead.
For the next two away games, so obviously Swansea and Plymouth in the league, what would you be happy with coming away from those two games, point-wise?
I think they're both shite, so I would expect to have 6 points.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to be rattled regardless of who they play in their team when we play them down there.
We've got to be putting teams like that away.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter of how we go up, like.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose that where I'm coming from is the win. They'll have taken a bit of fair few positives out of that performance of the day. That they'd held us 1-1 at their place in the cup. They're not naive. They'll understand that we didn't have a full strength squad, and when we brought them on against some tired legs, they ran the show and we scored an additional 3 goals. So, look, it just concerns me a little bit at the end of a real time month. It almost feels like it's a potential banana skin. And I know I'm speaking completely hypothetically here, but they're the games we need to win. But it's also Leeds United, all my beer type territory. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think them scoring that goal later on, like they did, will help us in the league fixture though? Because it'll mean our players won't just write them off when they're 1-0 ahead. They'll know they can come back.
I don't know. We seem to concede quite a lot of late goals, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a
that seems to be our issue.
concentration thing because, as we're saying, it's clearly not a fitness thing.
But again, that could come down to Farker and his changes and not making them early enough. And we could probably do a whole podcast on this about around sort of why we concede late goals and things. But I just wanted to
need Gilly in a spreadsheet for that, though.
Yeah, I just wanted to. There is no updates for predictions this week, is there? Because it's been a cup game. Unless they should have been after Bristol, I'm not sure.
Well, we didn't have we haven't had a main pod after Bristol, so
it probably should have done.
But they haven't sent us them, so we'll blame Gilly.
My bad.
That's all right. None of us asked them, so
no, that's fair.
Let's be fair.
Yeah. I just wanted to touch upon then before we move on slightly, a couple of our performances and team performances. So we all know man of the match. We're all probably going to vote for the same person. We'll come on to his performance in a short while. But I just wanted to start with their goal, Jay. You asked about their goal, and I've been having some pretty heated arguments. You'll be surprised to hear online about who was at fault for this goal. Now I think I won't tell you what I think. Actually, I will ask you to, having seen the goal probably back a few times. Who do you think? I'll start with you, Karl. Who do you think was at fault for their equaliser?
I don't think it was Meslier, to be fair. I think the initial pass back into their player to put it in with his chest comes from the back post. You got to look at who's on the back post there. They've lost their man, regardless of whether the wind took it or anything like that. You always follow your man. You don't leave him. So I can't recall who was on the back post and should have been following him for that. But I would not put the blame as such. I would say the responsibility of marking that man didn't happen, and that caused us to concede a goal. But I can't remember who was meant to be on him.
I think it was Anthony who lost.
Was it Anthony?
I think it was Anthony.
Yeah,
could be wrong.
I think whoever was meant to be picking him up. I know we kind of look like when from corners we're marking space rather than players. But generally, we've seen 4 defenders on the edge of the 6-yard box marking space. So if Anthony was one of them men, then he should have followed his man regardless. You don't you mark space until the ball is kicked, and then you try and either pick up a man or get ahead on it. Yeah. Now, if you're not going to get ahead on it, you pick up a man, and he
now, if we're blaming Anthony for losing his man, do you agree with this, Jay? First of all,
to a degree.
So if we're blaming Anthony for not picking up his man, the next question I have is, why is there no central defender on the edge of that 6-yard box with any? There is nobody there. No Leeds player to be seen. They're all still penalty spot onwards. He's just got free. All he's got to do is get a knacker air on it, and it goes in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I think it's probably 70-30 with Meslier being the 30 and whoever was meant to be marking the man that knocked it back across at fault, because for me, he were a little bit too focused on the ball, Meslier. Like he wasn't watching the guys around him. If you watch as that free kick comes in, and I feel like it was a little bit too focused purely on that. But then it was kind of left with no choice but to go to the man because his marker had lost him, and if he'd stayed where he was, that guy just puts it away. So if he doesn't go to him, they score anyway. I don't think he had the right lot of choice there. I think his positioning could maybe have been a touch better, but what he actually did in trying to rush the guy down, I don't think he could have done anything else.
Nah, I completely agree. I think Meslier has to take a bit of blame, but I don't think some of the takes I've seen have been absolutely wild. Meslier should have been on his line from the goal kick, apparently. So if the ball comes over, he's basically on his line. They've got a free header. They've got the whole goal to shoot to aim at, apart from where he stood. I've just seen some wild takes. But yeah, I mean, the weather didn't play its part, did it? I mean, it looked blustery down there. When the ball was behind us, it was carrying. When it was against us, it was just holding up. So look, there's probably a number of differentials that contribute to that goal. Meslier being one of them, defensively all out of sorts, but also I think the taking into account a bit of Mother Nature as well.
But you kind of have to look at it as well. If Meslier hadn't come across to try and cover the far post when he could clearly see the ball was going, like Melier can't come for that ball in the 6-yard box, regardless. It's too high. He's never getting a fist on it. If he tries, he gets absolutely slated for coming for a ball that he had no right to win.
Oh man, he'd get rinsed if he missed it.
He'd get absolutely fucking rinsed. So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. So when the header came back across goal, if Melier wasn't there, I can guarantee your man's nodding that in at the near post, and Melier is still getting slated.
I completely agree.
He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. Like there's no way he win. Yeah, there's no way he wins a punch if he comes to that ball. The elevation on the ball is far too high for him to even attempt it. So the next best thing he can do is kind of guard the back post and hope for the best. Like, and there wasn't an awful lot he could do about it. He's
yeah. Says Cooper lost the goal scorer, but Anthony lost the player who knocked it across. So
yeah,
the goal scorer one, it's hard to defend that in it because he didn't even do anything, did he? He sort of hit his body and went in.
Yeah,
it was just a person who were there for the ball to hit. Essentially, he didn't have to do a right lot to score it. I'm not a massive Cooper fan, as you all know, but I'm not going to be too hard on him for that part. He probably should have made a better effort on it, but I think that once that ball had gone across, the likelihood was it was going in the goal, regardless of whether he'd got to his man or not.
Yeah, there was a lot of kind of things that needed to work for that goal to be kept out, and
it was like a perfect storm. No pun intended with the weather, but everything kind of just came together to create that, and it was just a number of factors that you would have had to stop all of them.
You know what?
Yeah, agreed.
Not to interrupt or anything, but Ian Ward says at the end of the day it's irrelevant as we won.
That's true. We're just holding people to account, Ian. That's what
Ian, if we didn't talk about it, we wouldn't have a pod, man. So we have to at least discuss it. Like,
let's move on and talk about something really. That if anybody missed the start of the show, we're on about Jay being a self-professed lookalike for Chris Pratt from Thing.
There you go.
That's courtesy of Danny at Not Another Leeds podcast. Thank you, Danny, for sending us that.
With each and every picture that's
can't tell the difference.
Separated
becoming more and more. Yeah,
can't tell the difference.
The more I see of it, the more I can't tell them apart. Anyway, so moving on to the other players, who do you think did themselves some? Who let's say people who haven't really been getting looking. Who do you think give themselves some opportunity to be selected in maybe a league game? Do you think Cooper came in and did well? Do we think who else started who wouldn't usually? Anthony, Nonto. Let's talk about Joseph. How do you feel Joseph, Matteo Joseph played?
I'll let you take this one, Karl.
I'll take it if you want. I felt he started really, really sharp, really well, really busy, making the exact type of runs you want and expect a striker to be making. Unlucky, a couple of chances he could have had a goal if it wasn't for a great save early on as well when he turned the centre back. Showed great strength. I thought it was a good performance.
Yeah,
I can definitely agree with that, man. If I said it in there at all, I would have gone with this lad, even though he only got 10 minutes. Could have won us the game. Farke described his shooting power as could knock over a cow.
Did they?
Yeah. In his press conference, he said his shooting power is so hard he could knock over a cow. Yeah,
that was Joffrey. That was Joffrey was on about, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's why I have Joffrey up there. See the comment that's up there. So that's what I'm talking about.
But I thought that were a Farke impression, not a Joffrey impression. That's all.
Nope, that was definitely a Farke impression. The worst one I've ever tried. But
well, better than I would have done, mate. To be fair.
But I thought Joffrey played well, like you said, Luke. Joseph, absolutely brilliant. I thought he bullied their centre backs for a good 60 minutes. You could see he kind of ran out of steam. Oh, coleslaw on toast. Not seen you for a while. How's it going, man? I think he ran out of steam 60 minutes or so, and you could see he was struggling a bit to keep the ball under control and do what he was doing in the first half, where he was backing in. He played quite a similar role to how Bamford plays, in that he was very much backing into the centre backs. He was giving them a hard time, but he was also running the line as well, and in behind the centre backs and full backs. So I thought he played very well. It's match fitness, I think, for him that just needs to be up. He's obviously playing the 23s in every now and again, but senior match fitness is a different kettle of fish, I think. So,
of course it is. Yeah.
I think we as a podcast have pretty much written Joffrey off, haven't we? So, do you think that
I think
him,
as a
do you think
fan base,
that brings him back
arguably.
in a little, that performance, or do you think it's
I think
just
so.
just a
did himself
one-off?
no harm, did he? No harm
puts him in the
whatsoever.
reckoning again.
It
He
can't
looks
hurt him, can
sharp.
it?
He looks sharp. And look, we've obviously got to take into account the opposition and it being a cup tie and him getting probably a bit more of an opportunity. But I still don't think he's anywhere near the first team. But at least we've shown that he can, he can still mix it up with them. And look, if we can get Joffrey to his very best, we've seen how good he can be. With Norwich away the other season, we've seen he's got it in him to be able to change a game. We just don't see often
that goal he created with Brighton when he
Oh yeah, that little dink.
Yeah. Oh, that one, Jay.
Yeah,
that
for
one, Jay.
strike at the back post.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Flicked it over, didn't he? Flicked it over.
Yeah, he's got stuff in his locker. It's there, ability-wise.
Yeah, I was listening to the Fark interview afterwards. I won't stay too long on it, but he was saying, I think it was either Popey or Graham that asked him what his best position is, and Fark came out straight away and just basically said he's very flexible in where we can play him across the front line, and he puts in a shift. Like he was playing out wide last night, and to be fair to him, or not last night. Jesus, we're way behind
Tuesday
here.
Night.
Tuesday.
It's confusing.
Yeah, but he played really well. I think it was only 10 minutes in the end of the second half, and then obviously extra time. But I don't
think there was any poor performances, Carl. I thought Cooper played well. I thought he did a job. What you'd expect. He still always looks like he's running in treacle, doesn't he, with stilts on? But he does a job. Like he's third or fourth choice. Now actually, I would like to mention Joel Pirro. Actually, I felt he was relatively poor.
It's for the audio listeners,
but is that based on our expectation for him, or is it based on his actual performance? Do we expect more from Pirro because of the money we paid and we know his goal scoring record? Is the expectation a lot higher? But surely that comes naturally with the territory. If you're a good player and you should be putting in good performances.
I was actually going to put up Chris's as well. He says he'd rather have Joffrey over Preveda.
I saw that one. Yeah, I was going to bring that up as well.
But the Pirro thing, I heard someone say today. I can't remember whether it was in work where we were having a chat or whatever. It's like even when he plays poor, he's still kind of not as poor as he probably seems, because he's not doing anything badly. He's just not doing it great, but he's still involved in parts of the game where he's kind of dips in and out, might play a good through ball, might do this, and it's difficult. Like I think Johnny Brown says there, I thought Pirro was okay, to be honest, but again,
unlucky not to get a goal as well.
He was unlucky not to get a goal, and the one thing I did like about him last night was that he was actually trying to shoot from the edge of the box, which we haven't been doing at all. Now, granted, they closed down and shut down every effort he tried, but he at least he tried those things. He might not have had a massive impact on the game that people kind of expect, like you said, Luke, there for a £10 million signing. But how many strikers or players that are quite like him have taken a season to settle into a club? Sometimes it doesn't happen straight away. And the performance, he's already got 10 goals this season.
We didn't see the best of Rodrigo until his third season, arguably.
There you go. That's the thing. So we kind of have to take into account those particulars as well. So I thought without playing well, I don't think he was very bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think he was. I think for me, sometimes the expectation is a little higher for somebody like Pirro, because we know how good he can be, and he's a champion. He's seasoned in the Championship. He's had 3 seasons where he was Swansea's top scorer, I think. He's been in the top 5 goal scorers in the Championship for all 3 of those seasons as well. I think the expectation is, for me, that these are the types of games that when he gets an opportunity, he should be standing out rather than just doing okay, rather than being all right and people getting a little bit frustrated with him, or him doing a couple of good things here and there. You take these opportunities because he's second choice 9 or 10 now, wherever he wants to play. He's second choice over Paddy and Rutter. So these are the games where he should be actually standing up. Even at Peterborough, he didn't stand out that much, if I remember rightly. You know, he got full 90 at Peterborough, or started certainly. So these are the games where you get thrown in. You should be, you know, chomping at the bit. And look, people might disagree. They might say he actually had quite a good game, but he didn't stand out for me in the way that you would expect somebody of that ilk and that caliber and that value to actually warrant Farker even having a think about replacing either of the two I've mentioned a minute ago.
I get that. And Top Banana makes a good point here. I don't mean to be taking over the comments. I'm just reading while I'm listening. He goes, Pirro makes runs to take defenders away and make room for others. That's kind of an unnoticed skill that you know, like without some of Pirro's runs, like Somerville doesn't get into the positions he's in. You know, Bamford, when they're on the pitch together, doesn't get in the positions. You know, that's what I mean. Like, he didn't play badly, but he didn't play to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
But there is those small things that he does bring to the game where it opens up little gaps and opportunities as well, you know? Like Bamford runs the line and he runs the channel very well, whereas Pirro, even though he looks like he's not doing very much, he might make smaller runs here and there, but they're decisive runs where we can get into positions to actually be effective in the final third. And it looked, granted, it takes him out of the game because it looks like he's not doing very much, because it probably won't come back to him at some point. But there's those small things that we probably don't notice as fans, but he's doing very, very well as well.
Yeah, and look, he's got 10 league goals already at this stage of the season.
Yeah.
Look, I think we probably, if we'd have said at the start of the season we'd expect between 15 and 20, I think he might still be on course for that if he was playing full time, but he's not starting at the moment. So let's move on then from Plymouth. We're quite happy, I suppose, in a nutshell, with the performance. We got through comfortably in the end, albeit we did need to rally the troops, I suppose, and take an extra half hour to do so. But let's move on slightly. So firstly, what I wanted to do really quickly was a quick competition through CBD that I'd done. I said I'd do it live just so people didn't think it was fixed or anything. That was all. I said if we'd beat Bristol, that I'd give a little hamper away to some people. So I've just got a quick. Did you enter, Carl?
Oh, I did, Jack. Come on.
Oh, so if you enter,
I completely missed this.
If you enter, it gets redrawn. Then, yeah.
I like free shit too, you know.
So I've entered all the names and everything. All the entries are in there. The tweets.
You tried it to stream.
Sorry. Here we are. So yeah,
I could see you scrolling it, reading it. I'm like, God, can't see it, man.
So the tweets loaded there. We've got all the names in here, and if I click draw, it should give us a quick winner.
Go on, Carol. Go on.
Nathan Gale at Gale NJ01. So yeah, well done to you. We'll contact you either through the pod or CBD, and we'll get that out to you. Thanks, gents, for letting me do that really quickly.
It's okay, man.
We really have a choice,
Anytime.
but we don't mind, do we, Carl?
Anytime.
Right then.
Fix.
Next things. We're going to be sharing screens again in a minute, I think, anyway, because fix.
I didn't win.
All right. No, you didn't win. How can it be a fix?
Yeah. Can't even know the chat.
So the next part of the show, which everybody loves because it's got Bren's dulcet tones.
Hey, has got a shit tick this week, my little spat of fact.
I fucking love that, man. Every time.
Great,
Before I go on and do what I think is the shit take of the week, does any of you two want to have any honourable mentions for anything you've seen online this week?
I've not got anything, mate. I'm never ready for these things. I always forget about it, if I'm honest. Until
it
you
depends.
I did message you about 3 hours ago, Jay. Saying,
Yeah.
have you got shit take this week?
You said that you'd got some stuff, so
It depends on which one you're doing, Luke, because there was 2 or 3 put in. Like, are you doing the one that Gilly suggested go with?
I'm going to go with the Bamford one, yeah.
Okay, well, I think a decent nomination is that Bournemouth fan who says that Leeds fans are going to melt down because we're selling Sinistera. Mate, I'd just like to say to you, get fucked, you can keep the rat.
Absolutely. And do you know what? Do you know what I'm finding even funnier? A Luton fan's got involved. A Luton fan has got involved.
Let me see if I can find this.
Apparently, he runs their admin. Apparently, he runs their admin. This Luton fella, and he's basically said something along the lines. He put that mask up saying, "We're not sad, we're not angry, we're losing him," sort of face. And so I asked why a Luton fan was getting involved, and the Brighton fans then said to me, "Listen to this." The Brighton fans then said to me,
Bournemouth fans.
Sorry, the Bournemouth fan has then said. So I've said, "What's going on here?" He said, "Because Luton and Bournemouth formed a bond. We treat Luton like family."
What?
So this is a pretty shit take, and it all boils down to Lockyer collapsing. They said that's, and I was like, "Look, absolutely fine, but you do understand that you can show respect for an unfortunate incident without noshing each other off." I did put. Or forming a bond. I just don't get this little club syndrome. Forming a bond with another club because a player passed out. Like, I mean, I had a heart attack. I get that, but we don't. I just don't get it. I mean, maybe it's something that happens quite regularly for smallest clubs. I don't know. Is it something new to you too?
Yeah, it's new to me. They'll be selling half and half scarves next.
I like the thing is the thing that they have in common is that they both have like 12,000 seater stadiums, which is absolute gash. Like, so, someone will probably correct me and go, Luton have a 15,500 seater stadium. But you get what I'm saying. They're both gash when you have to walk through someone's backyard to get into the fucking ground. But yeah, I think that's the greatest load of wank. Don't know why they're bothering.
But the actual, sorry, I will get it up on my screen in a second when I find it again. The actual shit take of the week goes to this one, and it's considered. I would say considered a shit take because of the circumstances. So, really quickly, let me just get this up. I think I've just done it on the wrong thing. Just bear with.
Let's just praise us for a little while, Luke.
Yeah,
Mark, right. Great minds pod. Absolutely. We'll take that compliment. Nice one, Mark.
So
yeah, go through some of the comments quickly.
That Bournemouth guy that was saying we're going to have a meltdown. Somebody said, they think that the world revolves around Bournemouth, and I replied to him, and I can't find my reply now, but I said to him something like, have you seen the size of the stadium? Not even Bournemouth revolves around Bournemouth. That's how shit they are, and they think that we're going to care that a rat has left.
Yeah.
Right. So this shit take of the week, which I can't get up for whatever reason, it's based on the current news that was released today that Paddy Bamford has had Leeds fans. I'm going to use fans in not quite literally because
terms.
I wouldn't consider people like his fans outside his house threatening behavior, threatening where his wife or girlfriend and his kid lives and everything. It's not acceptable. Look, if you're that way out, you're not a football fan. Like, you're not supporting the squad, you're not supporting the club. That's going to be far more detrimental to Paddy Bamford than it's not going to make him. It's not going to bring that chance back at Newcastle, no matter what you do. No matter what you do.
For you. I've got it.
Anyway, another so-called fan, I'm assuming, has commented on this and said, more like Bamford is talking shit and wanting the sympathy vote. Sounds more plausible. Now, you can't really get much of a shitter take than that, can you?
Not really, no. Everyone's been nice to him in replies, as you can see.
He's got a lot of them. But there wasn't any... other than that, I don't suppose we've had really much going on. There's not been any real big bell ends recently, have there? Bristol fans seem to have been all right, taking their loss quite well. Plymouth fans seem to be. Yeah,
I can see this shit take of the week going the same way as the Hawk.
Yeah,
the hot topic.
The hot topic. Yeah,
the hot topic.
Yeah, a little bit more of a somber shit take this week, but one that needed pointing out really. And yeah, Paddy, all the proper fans would be behind you regardless.
Hey, has got a shit take this week, my little spat of fact.
Don't ever interrupt Bren like that again.
That's why I stopped talking.
Great point from Andy. We get 20 million to buy road on Fuck City.
Every cloud, Andy. Every cloud.
Yes. What do we think? So, I made Cine the picture. What do you call it? The graphic for tonight's show. Just because it was recent news, dressed as in fact, it wasn't dressed as. It was Woody had changed his face to Roland the Rat. If you remember Roland the Rat, you of a certain age, then you might remember Roland the Rat. So what do we make of that? I mean, I'm more than happy to get a refund on him, given how broken he is. It's almost
I'm happy
like
not to lose money.
Yeah, it's like going to the shop, buying a bike, wrecking it, and then flogging it for the same price.
Yeah. It's like, chains stretched, tyres are knackered. Can I have my money back, please? And they're like, yeah, sure, yeah. Looks great.
Not even that. It's worse than that. Your mates come round the corner, seen what you've done to the bike, have seen exactly what's happened to it, and decided to pay the same as what you paid for the bike 18 months ago, or whatever it was.
Absolutely. More fooling.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a good player in Luis Sinisterra. There is a fantastic player, and he was very, very good for us when he was good, when he was fit. But to get our money back, I think we've absolutely had their pants down.
And another thing as well, I said to Jason on Twitter today, he was talking about it, and I said, he was like, it's not, we're losing money, it's this and that. I was like, yeah, but we've had his wages off the books for the best part of 3/4 of a season. That's surely got to be money in our pockets, helped us bring in other players, and obviously they make the good point there that it's money towards Rodon. So
you know what as well, this thing that Ian Ward says here, joining Bournemouth shows a real lack of ambition. We need better than that. That is true to me as well. You know, if a player turns around to you and says, "Oh yeah, I really want to go to Bournemouth," you'd be thinking maybe they're not cut out for Leeds United.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if he was any good at all, and clubs, wanted him in their squad,
he wouldn't be going to Bournemouth, would he?
He wouldn't be going to Bournemouth. Exactly that. So
now he may think that's going to be a stepping stone. He may think he's that good. He's just going to have one season there and move on, but not with his legs.
Yeah, I said to one of their fans once he gets relegated, he'll probably try and sue you if you don't let him. If you don't let him go.
That's his MO now. That's what he's going to be known for, at least by.
I have to apologise. Apologise. I've missed the biggest shit take of the week, and Mark Wright has just reminded me.
Oh no! What have you done? Go on.
This is brilliant as well. But it's that bad. It's brilliant. So, Mark, thank you ever so much for reminding me about this. If you haven't seen this, I'm going to share it.
I've seen this.
This is the modern day football fan.
This is not a Leeds one, so it's okay to do this after the other.
So tell me if you can hear this. You don't need to hear that. He's got player cards. Pretty much the whole squad there, reversed, laminated, and he's just holding them up, hoping somebody comes over.
Like, I'm not one for slagging kids, but his parents have turned him into a little brick.
I'd quite happily punch somebody if I saw that.
Yeah, I'd report their parents to child services for that shit.
That's brilliant. That poor kid. I saw somebody at the last home game or the one before, and they had a Spanish flag and it said Firpo on it. They were like the only people with a Firpo sign. So I don't know if there were people
from the Dominican Republic.
No, but they had a Spanish flag. Yeah, he is Spanish, so anyhow, he's played for Spain under 21 or something.
He's Spanish, but he's
and now he plays for Dominican.
From the Dominican, isn't he?
Yeah, he plays for the Dominican.
He's either got Spanish citizenship or one of his parents, because he's played for Spain's youth setup.
Yeah.
Anyway, so wherever he's from, they had a Spanish flag and it said Firpo on it, and they were waving it, and they come over. He looked chuffed, and I felt good for him, because he never gets that kind of love. Do you know what I mean? There's all other players with signs and kids asking for shirts, and then one day someone turned up with a Firpo flag. He was chuffed.
Maybe we should all just get Dominican Republic shirts off DH Gate or something and turn up in the final game. Because they're white as well, aren't they?
I'll tell you what, if he'd scored that volley he tried against Plymouth, I'd have got one and wore it for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Hey, I've always rated Firpo. Not rated him, but I've always said there's something
here we go.
That will bring us. Hey, look back through my tweets, mate. Look back through our videos. I will guarantee you I've said Firpo will come good. He will rebirth and just turn into some footballing prowess of godness. Yeah. Like a modern day Cerberus with 3 feet. That is that good.
Oh, Jesus.
He's class in it.
Yeah, he's come around serious about, hasn't he?
Let's not go overboard. He's not class, but he's
No,
playing.
but- yeah, of course. Yeah, he's playing very well in
He does
areas
have the
and
best
stuff, but-
mustache in football, Roland. You are right.
Yes, it's a strong mustache.
Proper pencil tash, innit?
Yeah,
Proper Lionel Richie 1980.
It's a bit like Eddie Murphy in First Beverly Hills Cop when he has a little mustache.
See, I reckon I have a better chance of growing a decent one of them than I do a fucking beard now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Like, it's...
Prove it. Let's have a look at you. Oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I'm 100% right there. 100%. Patch Adams here, like, you know what I mean?
Hey, look, I agree. I don't think he fits our particular system in the Premier League where he's up against better wingers and better fullbacks and whatever else. Look, I'm not saying he's the second coming of Roberto Carlos or anything, Maldini or anything like that. But at this level, I said he will offer something, and he has done. And true to his word, he's never been happy while he's been at a football club. So he turned it around, and I for one, I'm very happy for him.
Pat Gallagher here in the comments as well. He's already taken him to the cleaners. The real Firpo will reappear versus Chelsea. That's harsh, Paul, man. Come on, let's just ride the gravy train for a little while and give him a bit of credit.
That's it. Firpo scores are on the pitch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to flick through some comments really quickly. Danny, good evening, mate. Lovely to see you here again. Gruev man of the match. I think we unanimously agreed on that, and it'll take me nicely on to my next little section in a moment. Chris Gillett. Joffrey could have won it before the end. Was gutted for him, but it looked more like the Joffrey we know he can be. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think he was really unlucky not to get a goal. When it smacked off that post, I was absolutely adamant that was hitting the onion bag. I did see this, Andy.
Hello. Yeah, I wanted to bring this.
Rutter did a half stew, didn't he? He almost did a seat.
Yeah. He was going to do it, and then was like, "Oh no, I better not."
He remembered where he was, didn't he? And thought, I would get pelters forever. He would forever, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I'm
not about that, mate. By the way, I'm not about saying that.
I was nearly going to add that to the shit take of the week, kind of.
I'd forgive him, I guess, because he's just
he half stopped himself. He didn't even do the full 180. He sort of just did a 90 and put his arms out and thought, shit.
Yeah, it's like as his arms went straight, you saw he suddenly realised what he were doing.
Yeah. And I didn't pick it up at the time, I didn't pick it up until somebody mentioned it online afterwards.
No, I didn't.
But yeah, well said, Andy. Well remembered. Liam Ward's saying, we're going to come on to this as well, I suppose, as part of the Rotherham chat. Farker will need to rotate this squad to keep tiredness at bay. We're going to have a little bit of a section in a minute about selection headache because of the squad we've got all available to us, Ian. So we'll pick that up in a minute. Skips said, although Nonto has played well in the last few games, does James come straight back in when fit? Again, this probably lines up with the selection headache chat, but do you want to answer this one now? What are your two thoughts? Because there's talk that Dan James will be fit for this weekend. I mean, I would still start Nonto because James has been out.
I think
Is that your phone, Carl?
That would be my phone there.
Can you sort it out?
It's on silent now.
Just stop being popular, Carl, is what he's saying. He's just jealous.
I get that.
Stop having mates.
Point it out, Luke.
That's it. It's a lonely life.
Yeah, I think Nonto starts on Saturday. I know people are going to say, "Oh, what are you doing?" Blah.
I agree.
Park likes playing a winning team, and he's going to.
Let's not go into the team selection for Saturday too much, but yeah, I think until that, I think that place is probably Nonto's now until Dan James gets back to full fitness and re-earns it, I suppose. But it's a nice selection headache to have.
Nonto's been moping around with a cloud over him, and he's now looking like he's getting out from under it. And if you don't pick him Saturday, that could kind of crush him a little bit when he's
absolutely.
He's on the curve.
2-2 goals in 2 games. You can't drop him on that, regardless.
No,
it's about good man management now, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's it.
Absolutely. Mark Wright says, don't think anyone played well enough against Plymouth to change Farker's mind on his best 11, but showed we do have talent within the squad. Backup, I would say talent, but also backup and depth. This depth that we all spoke about during the transfer window, where we haven't got enough bloody depth. We haven't got 10 left backs. We've only got 3 right backs, I think we've got enough depth now and enough quality and depth as well to take us towards the end of the season. So I'm quite happy with some of those cameos.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Emmy Lou says Nonto seems to have a bit of spark back. Remember when he came to us and the whole ground stood every time he got the ball in the wing? Not quite there again, but shown some moments in the last two. He was our only out ball in the Premier League, wasn't he?
He was.
Just
He was the only one who looked like he could do anything.
Give it to Willie and hope he does something.
We turned into Palace with Zaha, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he used to be the only half-decent player they had, and every ball was sent to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can see Carl reading, so I was going to try and catch him out there.
You can't catch me out, man. I'm good.
Is he listening?
I'm just being popular here. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Chris Gillett, I'm assuming this is around Cine. Just a bit annoyed we didn't get more for him in the summer. Smart business from Bamford to get him at the price they did. He will get injured now. It's permanent. Let's hope so. I mean, it's not a nice thing to say, but fuck him.
Yeah, but
fuck
at
him.
the same time,
He's a rat.
his wages were off the books for 3/4 of a season, so it saved us money as well in the long run. Whatever he's done,
you know what?
We've made it back and not having to pay him. So
I hope we go up partly just so we can fucking give him a reception that he deserves.
Yeah, rat.
Can you imagine what he's going to sound like at Elland Road when he comes on the pitch?
Toxic as shit for him.
Oh, man. It'd be amazing.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I agree with that. I wouldn't mind a few more quid, but I think 20 million is probably. We got a refund, didn't we? Nigel says Luke's an IT expert. I think that's pretty sarcastic. If you're on about me trying to get the shit take of the week up, I was trying to do it on my phone. Don't worry, I can't. Hey, Jammy, how's my favourite little jam man? Looks like a Peruvian pimp. I'm sure he's not talking about you there, Carl. I think he's probably talking about Firpo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, with the tash. It's definitely a Peruvian pimp.
Cool. Right. So I said earlier, I just wanted to do a Gruev appreciation minute or two because he was unreal at the weekend. Tuesday night. He's been unreal pretty much since he's had a first team shirt for us. But just really quickly wanted to share this one video, which I will be able to do because I've done this before and I know what I'm doing.
It's great.
And this is only 10-15 seconds, but it's two challenges made by Ilya Gruev, and I think it's worth sharing.
It epitomizes his performance recently.
It does.
Look at where he comes from to win that ball.
I know.
I mean,
and this is in the 92nd minute or something.
It's amazing.
Play them again.
Play it again.
They deserve. Look at where he comes from.
Look, he's coming from.
He's no right to win that ball.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
How's he still got that much gas left?
He wins that with his heel. He wins that second one with his heel.
Yeah, he like covers him with the backs of his feet, doesn't he?
Do you know what that second one reminded me of? It reminded me of a Radaby tackle.
Yeah.
Look at it. That's a fucking Radaby tackle.
Perfect.
Delightful. And I could sit and watch that all day. I said that I cheered those challenges as much as I did the goals that night.
That was just Luke watching it. They were sexy tackles, though.
They were good, Johnny.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely.
That's what we want as Leeds fans, and it's someone that does that. It's just everything we want.
Yeah. And this leads us on to the selection edicts that I wanted to talk about. So we've obviously got Pascal, who's club captain now-ish, when Cooper's not there, I suppose. Ampadu, I would say, is probably vice captain.
I reckon so, yeah.
And we've got a bit of an headache, haven't we? Because Gruev and Camara playing really, really well. We've now brought in a right back, an actual right back in Roberts. So Archie's free to play midfield as well. Supposing we have a fully fit squad, who do you pick and why? So give me your fully fit 11, Carl.
Oh, I was just gonna. All right, okay, yeah. The back four for me. I think I want to keep Ampadu in the team, and I want to keep Gruev in the team. So I'm putting Ampadu at centre back at the minute with Rodon still, and put Roberts at left back or right back, and Firpo at left back. Because it's Rotherham, I want to see what Gray and Gruev are like in the middle. I'm not saying that as being disrespectful to Rotherham. I'm saying it in the sense that this is a good opportunity in a game that we all feel we should win. Yeah. So I think it's a good opportunity to see what Gray and Gruev are like, because at some point that's going to be a partnership at some point in the season because, injuries or whatever the case may be. So I think that's a good two pairing in there. And I think the normal front four, but because Dan James isn't in, you put Nantos still in there. and that's how the 11 looks for me. I think this is prime to understand what Gruev and Gray will be like as a
So you're
partnership.
dropping camera, you're dropping strike.
I like I said earlier as well, it's a case that Fark doesn't like changing the winning team, but I think by leaving Archie in midfield rather than dropping them all together, I think is a good, like I said, a good opportunity to see that partnership potentially blossom, because I think Gruev is good enough to keep an eye on the space in behind Gray when he plows forward. That's the thing, Jay. That's your mouse there, is it?
What do you mean?
Are you clicking a mouse there, are you?
I was scrolling the comments. Can you hear the wheel?
Yeah. Can you not do that,
Oh,
please?
wow.
I put my phone on silent for you.
You got me,
yeah?
mate. Fair enough. Right. I'll take my
If I had a
medicine.
handbag, I'd be holding it up now with you two.
I'll take my medicine.
Here, look, I'm not going to sit there and take shit like that and not give it out, like, you know.
What it needs is me clicking my pen now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I'm just going to go fetch a metal straw.
Full house. But yeah, that'd be my starting 11 for Saturday, strictly just because I want a proper right back in the team. We've got one. Roberts is there. I really want to see what Gruev and Archie Gray look like as a pairing.
No, fair point.
Yeah.
By all means, put your teams in the chat as well. If you've got any wild takes or playing someone somewhere else, please do. Jay, do you agree with that, or would you have the same starting 11 if everyone's fit? Do you think?
I think I'd still have Archie at right back personally, because as good as he is in midfield, I've seen him developing like this, man. He's getting better and better with every game. I don't see any reason to change it at the moment, unless the player himself says, I don't want to play in this position anymore, and I don't think he's ever going to do that. So for me, he'd still be there until Roberts works his way in, and it would be Rodon and Ampadu centre-backs for me. Probably.
Rodon
Ampadu.
Ampadu.
Whatever. Ampadu, whatever.
Kick him off the grass in the morning.
I didn't expect that to amuse you so much, to be honest, lads.
It shouldn't have done, really, but
easy,
I'd probably go for Firpo at left back, I think, just because of him being left-footed. But that's the one I'm really debating between him and Byram, because I do like Byram there. But the natural left-footer thing allows us to play slightly differently. But for me, it's like Ampadu, I'd rather he's in the midfield on paper because he's so good there. But it turns out he's also better than anyone else.
Do you know he actually got relegated? I think twice playing as a centre back. I think once I think he was playing centre back for Sheffield United, and then either Spezia or somebody in Italy. I think he got relegated with, and he was playing predominantly as a centre back there as well, which is interesting really, because he doesn't look a millimetre out of place when he's playing there.
No, it looks superb. Every time Pascal came to me, I'd be like, "Don't you worry about playing. I'd put my arm around. Don't you worry about playing. You just get yourself well." I'd be saying this to him for like the next 3 months.
Here's an interesting take. Venezia. Sorry, JB. Thank you ever so much. Right. It was Venezia. Steve has dropped Archie Gray from his starting lineup.
Can't just give him a rest.
And Firpo. And Dan James.
Unbelievable, Steve.
Blimey.
Johnny Brown, put your team in there now, and we need another Brown in there just to
Battle of the Browns.
Battle of the Browns.
Johnny Brown versus Steve. Finish him. So my team would be just on Connor Roberts, by the way. Just on Connor Roberts. How good was it seeing him like warming up with the team and travelling with the squad all the way down to Plymouth? He didn't have to do that. You know, that's the type of player he's gonna carry us through. Happy to play anywhere. He says he doesn't care the amount of minutes he gets, games he gets. A proper squad player. You fuck off Jed Spence, an absolute opposite.
Absolutely.
Polar opposite, like.
Yeah. So my lineup would be obviously the Iceman in net, Firpo with
the Iceman cometh.
Firpo with. I'm going to agree. I think I'm dropping Pascal. I love Pascal. He's had a great season so far as well.
I do as well. I'm just going off Fark's recent history of picking the same team. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going with Pascal and Rodon, centre back. I'm going with Archie Gray, leaving him at right back with Connor Roberts backing up as a support player to come on at right back. We can always move Archie into midfield then. 2 centre midfielders. I'm having Ampadu and Gruev. And then I'm having Dan James if he's fit. I'm having Cree, Rutter, and Paddy.
Poor Glenn.
Glenn's been dropped. So
Poor
has
Glenn.
who else has been dropped from that team? Willie Nonto.
Nanto. But do you not take into account what was said earlier on about maybe dropping Nanto with 2 goals in 2 games and his confidence
I
maybe
know.
taking a hit?
I'm just saying if everyone's fit. I'm not basing it on form and everything. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
saying so many. I'm saying if everybody
You're on
was
you're
fit
on paper
this week-
team. With
Yeah,
no
on
outside
paper. This
considerations.
is how I'd be looking. Johnny's put his team in. Let's have a
Oh,
look.
he's put in, yeah.
Mez, Archie, right back. Rodon, Ampadu, Firpo, Gruev, Kamara, Nonto, Cree, Rutter, and Paddy. Oh, so it's just the same, isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Brown's.
Yeah. No, Ampadu was dropped on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Ampadu was dropped.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
He
It was
was.
by Steve. Steve dropped a few,
Steve
didn't
didn't drop Ampadu.
On Tuesday night, he took him out.
Ah, right. Sorry. Yeah.
So it's not the same team.
But
That's what
look,
I'm getting at.
let's get back to the point. It is we're in a good position to be in based on even just bringing that one player in the window, as a few people have said in the comments. It means that we've got that flexibility to play Archie in his preferred position because we've got a natural right back. We've now got Byron back up to fitness as backup for Junior Firpo when he's having a poor game or tired or that we know getting overrun on his side. We've then actually arguably got another option to bring Stroik on and move Ampadu into midfield if we need to. There's so many options from there.
It's so good having players that can play multiple positions well and not
Apparently
just
Roberts
look
can
like
also
they
play left back.
shoehorned in.
Didn't know that.
Fantastic.
Can I just say something here, just really quickly? We've already forgotten about the man that we praised as the best left back we actually had at the club. Sam Byron hasn't even gotten a look in here at left
I
back.
mentioned him. I said
Not in the
Just for
team,
people,
though.
not in your
well,
team.
I said Firpo was the one position I was debating because I like Byron there.
Yeah,
But
But
Firpo
it's
having the
mad,
natural
like-
left foot wins
Yeah,
it
it's
for me.
mad to think that we've gone from going, Jesus, keep Byram in there, to Firpo having a couple of good games, and now everyone's like Firpo over Byram.
They're
And
done.
it's like,
And that is
you
the
know.
strength in depth that we've got now
Yeah,
because
yeah,
players
it's
can
good.
come in. And I don't want anyone to come back from injury and walk straight back into the team. I want players to know they'll have to work for it.
Which is good. Competition for places is good. Competition is good. I think Firpo will be the one. I can imagine if we get promoted, when we get promoted, Firpo will be sitting in Klitsch's seat, smoking the cigar. Big Cuban.
yeah,
You just can see it now, can't you? He's
Yeah,
that type of guy.
absolutely.
Cool as fuck.
And if he
kinda
isn't,
want,
we need to give him shit.
I kind of want us to win promotion on the last day against Southampton and for it to be Bamford that scores because everyone blamed him for us getting relegated and for him to then run at the fans going.
Yeah.
I
think
but
well,
after
like-
having people turn up at his house, he probably won't do that.
I said there to one of the lads at the last home game, not the cup game, no, but the game prior to that. I said it's going to be going down to the last day. We'll be in
Yeah,
second, 2 points ahead of Southampton, only needing a draw, but a win will take us top against Leicester. I know I'm delusional, but that's the way I see it. That's the way I see it working out. I think sometimes it has to work out for us because it can't always just go tits up for us.
True, yeah. It has to come good sometime.
Yeah, of course it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So right then, now we've talked about preferred teams and things. We can probably put together a bit of a puzzle, a bit of a picture as to who we'd probably be selecting for Rotherham. But how do we see this one going? Because look, they're absolutely shite away from home. I heard Joe say there's only Sheffield United one less games in the top 4 English leagues this season in total. So do we expect plain sailing, Karl, or is it another potential banana skin, or do we absolutely pummel them 5 or 6-0? Somebody's due one of them, by the way, aren't they?
I think the closest we've come was Huddersfield at home, obviously, but I think I think I was more confident going into the Bristol away game than I think I am with the Rotherham game, because they have the opportunity to fuck shit up for us, and it'd be just like us to do it against a team like that. But in saying that, I think a cricket score is going to absolutely they deserve a cricket score. Let's be honest.
Yeah, especially when they held us to a draw at their place at the New York Stadium. they've done all right there from home, actually. They've got a couple of draws. I think they drew with Ipswich as well there. So, yeah, we do owe them a little bit, don't we? They've not got much in terms of like going forward or anything like that. So, fingers crossed. I mean, Jay, what about yourself? Are we going into it overly confident, do you think? Or do you think there's any chance of Rotherham spoiling Saturday?
Is he stopped there, or is he just?
Did I freeze again? Right as I spoke. Okay.
Yeah, like that for a while.
Is there anybody out there?
Hello.
I fully expect us to flatten these, and I'll be really disappointed if we don't.
So, when you say flatten, what would you be disappointed with? Would you be happy with just the 3 points, or would you want an absolute annihilation?
Oh, I'll not be upset to get 3 points, but I'll be disappointed if we don't at least put 3 past them. I want to see us give it to somebody and look convincing for 90 minutes.
It'd be a great time of the season to do it now as well. Just going into this tough run of away fixtures. You know, we've got Leicester at home coming up this month as well, which is going to be another tough game. Chelsea as well. So it'd be a nice time to get some confidence in the side and start. I think it's going to happen. I mean, call me the eternal optimist, but I half expect somebody needs to be on the end of a proper hiding like for this, and it's been coming.
Absolutely, we need to put fear into the likes of Southampton and other teams around us.
They're winning games by 4 or 5 though.
Exactly,
quite often, aren't they?
Exactly. I'm on 1 gigabyte broadband as it is, but I use Wi-Fi repeaters because my house is so huge.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, well, someone asked. There's some sort of delay in there. I can't help it.
Right then, I suppose that leads us on to the predictions. Carl, have you got a pen there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe would you very kindly take them down? Fans' prediction from now.
Auto no better predictions.
So, me being the highest of us 3, I think, in the table. Danny Rumsey has got in with the fans very early at 4-0. I am going to go 4-1 Leeds.
See, you've got that doubt as well that we might concede, even though you're saying someone deserves a hockey-in. You see,
we could concede against like my daughter's team. To be fair,
we could.
Jesus Christ. Jay, what are you saying?
I'm going for another 3-0 win for Leeds.
This is like 2 seasons ago. Fuck. I'm going to go 3-1 Leeds.
You and Jamie are on the same page there, Carl. So you're in good company.
Jamie saying 3-1 as well. Go on, Jamie. I'm wearing blue tonight as well. Jamie,
Buckley, I'd take a bit of that, mate. I'd take a bit of 7-0.
Absolutely. And Carl, I just want you to read this lad's prediction out.
Sorry, it's 6-0. Sorry,
6-0. Dr. Cox. Is this the same Dr. Cox from Scrubs? Like, because that is as mental as he was.
Right now, Carl, can you just give us Einer's full name, please? If you just get a second, just read that out for us.
Einar Dahl Halldórsson.
Oh, I think that's all right. How did you do, Einar?
I think it's a little way off, is that? But we'll see. I don't have a better one.
I reckon there's like the genuflex and the father at the top, and it gives it a different one altogether.
I'm
You've
going to
got
go
a father there over the O.
Einar Dahl Halldórsson.
Well, it's an I on the end of the middle name, so I don't know why you're getting Dahl. It's an I.
Oh, that's Finnish, man. He's Finnish. That's
he's not Finnish. He's only 28.
No, he's only 28.
I actually started a comment.
Oh, no, he said he's top notch. You got it spot on.
Oh, brilliant.
Are you Finnish as well? And not 28.
I was thinking Icelandic because he said here there's an eruption 10 to 15 kilometers from his house. And the hot water heating is out, and there's like -5, and it's windy. So I hope you're all right.
Sure I know this guy. I'm pretty sure he is from Iceland.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
I don't think I've ever heard of a Finland volcano.
Is it the Icelandic entry for the Eurovision? He was the dude with the long hair, and he looked a bit fucking nerdy and all that. It was a really good song, actually. I can't remember it, but I don't
think anyone else here watches Eurovision.
No,
I don't either, but the tune is catchy. And I
haven't watched it since Katrina and the Waves, to be honest.
Jesus Christ.
Top notch. Carl's a wise old monkey, Jamie says.
There you go.
Only 43 on Monday, so
43 on Monday. You don't look a day over 45.
Thanks, Matt.
A lot of dogs on that paper round.
Let's start
There was a
vacuuming
lot of
the
dogs in that
chat
paper
carpet, Jammy, as you usually say, and we are going to do the end bit, and I'm going to ask Karl to read this out, if that's all right, and tell us a little bit about what's going on at,
Of course,
at Andy's Man Club this month.
Take it away, Karl.
So Andy's Man Club leads for February on the 23rd. Thanks for that, Luke. I see why you wanted me to read this out. Knobhead. Pool night at Northern Snooker starting at 6:30. We will be on the tables upstairs. We do ask for a small donation to the tables, but this is not essential. Sunday the 25th. Are you going to try and take the piss out of that in some way, lads? Or should I just keep going?
You just do your thing.
Sunday, 25th, Barber Club at W2 Barbers in Easterly Road from 11 to 3. Come down, get your hair cut, have a chat with all the proceeds going to Andy's Man Club.
Thank you ever so much. Eloquently put. Yeah, and as we say, if you are in trouble, don't be afraid to talk to somebody, and our DMs are always open. If anybody does want to have a chat at any stage. Any other business? Anything else you want to talk about?
Yes.
Oh.
Don't we have this big, massive mural walk that we're doing, lads? That we need sponsorship for.
You do.
Oh, Chocolate Knees isn't doing it. That's right.
After I've got bullied into it, you're now not doing
bullied
it.
into it, Jay. Come on, man. You haven't done one charity thing yet.
You're rotten.
You've not done one charity thing yet.
You do
bullied into it. It's more of a moral high ground thing.
You
now
do stupid stuff. I'm not getting involved in that.
You do
23rd.
23rd.
And Joe Bedford said she does miss making Dermot say 33.
I'll fill in, Joe, anytime you want. Just give me an old text. It's fine.
There's nothing you
can. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it, Karl? Have you got any links ready?
I don't know if we've got anything, in the branding or anything, but we are doing a walk of all the murals with for Andy's Man Club. We're raising money. There's a link, I think, on the
we'll pin it to our Twitter.
Yeah,
we're so polished, aren't we, on here? We're so polished.
Well, this was kind of off the cuff thing because no one else is going to mention it. So I'm kind of like, I may as well say something. Like, it'd be nice to get a few quid.
You do right, mate. You do right.
And so it's we're doing the mural walk. I think it's something like 27 miles or something like that. And Luke's already pulled out because he's got chocolate knees. Jay's bitching and moaning because he actually has to do some physical exercise for a change.
I have bad knees that hurt.
And he apparently has bad knees, which we're only finding out about now.
Told you many times, mate.
Chase doesn't want to be going around signing autographs, apparently, according to Jamie.
I'll sign anything, mate.
People confusing him with Rocket.
27 miles of torture for Jay because he'd be getting stopped every 5 minutes. It's I can see why you don't want to do it, Jay. It's nothing to do with the physical aspect. But no, look, any donations, we'll pin the tweet to the top of our page. Greatly appreciate it. Going to a great cause, Andy's Man Club. There might be some comedy nights coming up soon enough as well in support of Andy's Man Club as well. So keep an eye out for those.
Great stuff. Well said.
Very good.
Gents, a pleasure as always. Thank you both for joining me. I believe Gilly and Smarty are on with the boys at Not Another Leeds podcast tomorrow night. So if you haven't seen them before, they're a good laugh. Do tune in and have a good watch of them. They're good fun. And then I think they're also doing I don't know, actually. I don't know who's doing B&C on Sunday, but it's certainly not me because I'll be getting tattooed. So, yeah, I've got a day sitting all day Sunday. So, and then I'm going out for the Super Bowl with my brother. So, yeah, be good, everyone. Enjoy your weekends. Hopefully, we'll have a few bragging rights. If you do see me at the game Saturday, buy me a pint.
Me too.
Yeah, and we'll be back at some point over the weekend to do a Brady and Coke. Well done to the competition winner. Do get in touch with us. We'll get that sorted as well. Any last words? Not last ever, but before we finish.
You're all great in the comments. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you ever so much, as always. Cheers.